Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you to the Center for Fiction and the Jerome Foundation, and welcome new fellows. I'm going to read an excerpt of my novel that's not written, that's being written, and the chapter is called The Haunting, and I'm just going to read the first couple of pages. I saw a face in the fire. I was 15. I had been doing homework at Meredith's house, who lived 3 blocks away, and around midnight, as I was walking home, my teeth started chattering, even though it was only 50 degrees. But there I had been, walking fast, crickets chirping in the distance and quieting when I got near, wearing only a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals, my arms folded tightly across my chest, my yellow backpack hugging my shoulders. In Napa, in the fall, while it may be warm in the day, the nights are chilly, and teenagers never think about that when they leave the house. When I saw the face in the fire, I had just gotten home. I was alone, sitting in front of the fireplace in the living room, trying to warm myself. My brother was away at college, my mother asleep, and my father was in his study reading, a night owl. He would put the fire out in a few hours before going to bed. I was kneeling, leaning in towards the fire, feeling hot spots on my hands and arms, pulling away, adjusting, moving back in. And then I saw it, a face, hovering in the orangey, blue-tinged flames above the crackling wood in the fireplace. It was a woman's face, middle-aged, Asian maybe, with a short black bob and bangs. I gasped. My hands, which I had previously been warming at the fire, palms out, held up like a crossing guard, were now touching my mouth as if I was miming surprise. It was clear to me that the face in the fire was not an image created by my own mind, or the flames playing a trick on me, or an actual real person's face. That could not be possible. How could a woman's head, removed from her body, float in a fire and remain unharmed? If this person was true, she would not be sneezing right now. She'd be screaming, or she'd be dead. So fine, I had just smoked a bowl at Meredith's house. It was good weed. After a couple hits, I couldn't even feel my face. We got it from her older sister who was living in Humboldt. And fine, I had taken a hit of acid 3 days earlier. Bronwyn and I had dropped in early flight pre-cal, but it was mostly speedy and not so psychedelic. A disappointing acid trip with barely any tracers and none of the mind-blowing fear that comes with a good trip. This time, am I going to be tripping forever? Right now, all I felt was a little numb, like I was filled with sticky cotton and supremely calm. I felt thirsty, but I wasn't seeing things. The woman sneezed for almost a full minute. I suppressed the urge to say, "Bless you." Some ashes blew out of the fireplace and landed on the wood floor where I was kneeling, a few inches from my knees. When she was done sneezing, she coughed. Her bangs shook a little. She looked at me. "Hello," she said. "Hello," I said. "Where am I?" she said. "Who are you?" I said. "You're Asian," she said. "So are you," I said. "It's always the Asian houses," she said. With that, her face shot out of fireplace in a streak of colors as if it was being sucked into a vacuum. And when it reformed itself, her head was attached to a full-size human body, about 5'2", I guessed, because I had stood up by then, and she looked about 2 inches shorter than me. She was wearing a crinkly red silk shirt with a pair of black crepe pants that were tailored and cuffed, and a gold jacquard blazer. On her feet, she wore sensible loafers, cordovan trimmed with facetta, little braided tassels dangling on top. Her outfit was ugly but clearly expensive, and she reminded me of my aunt, who always criticized my clothes and told me that I needed to buy designer clothes and dress up if I wanted to make friends with the right people and find the right man. "You don't understand America, old lady," I would think. "And what if I'm a lesbian, and you're such an idiot you can't even tell who's rich and who's not?" I would wear my most raggedy-ass clothes around her. But the ghost was not my aunt. She was a ghost, and my aunt was alive in Palo Alto. I pictured her lying in bed, asleep, wearing silk pajamas, enveloped in a bed of 1,500 thread count sheets, her powder pink Chanel skirt suit freshly pressed for the morning, and makeup primly lining the vanity. The ghost just kind of dressed like my aunt, and her hair was coiffed, and her shoes were so ugly they were probably Ferragamo. In her arms, she held a brown-haired terrier. She was see-through, and so was her dog. I could see right through them both, the lady and her lapdog. I could see them and all the tiny details that made them three-dimensional beings, like the woman's freckles and tiny wrists, the terrier's long eyelashes and whiskers, and its miniature wagging tail. But I could also see directly behind them, through the lady's torso, my mother's beloved collection of porcelain pigs. Pink, white, blue, big, medium, small, a wooden chest covered in pigs. None of them were piggy banks. Thanks.